Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One. There is none like the Author of Life, the Supreme Entity, the Force that moves all things in place, the Perpetual, Almighty, Most High, the all you can see and all you can not see, the visible and invisible Spirit of Truth, the Living One. You know, it's been a while since I've done a show on broken down a bunch of 666s, you know, because it starts sounding repetitious, but, you know, every now and then I got to reconfirm the work that I'm doing. So we're going to be going over the presidency today, talking a little bit about the government and what makes them so dangerous. And it takes wisdom, which is insight. Wisdom is insight, and it's a skill. And this skill comes from the mind. You got to understand that insight here is the mind. Okay? It is not the brain. The mind is spiritual. The brain is flesh. The brain is an antenna to this plane of existence. So, for those of you who like to vote, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, Bible Hub, tells us here, for unto us a child is born. This child that is born here is right here. This is Yeshua, also known as Jesus, the Messiah, reconstructed by Muhayyadin. Okay. So on to us a child is born is Yeshua, also known here as Emmanuel. Here Matthew 1:23 is telling us, behold, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel. Okay, here's a question that I like to ask you, Christians. If the child is to be born and he's to be called Emmanuel, then why are you calling him Jesus? Emmanuel means God is with us. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. These are two different entities. Unto us a child is born is Yeshua. Unto us a son is given. I love Yeshua. So here you have a white Yeshua. And a black Yeshua. So which one is it? It doesn't make no sense, does it? And this is the argument that takes place. I've listened to Billy Graham, and he says, what difference does it matter what color Jesus' skin is? He was God. If it doesn't make any difference what color Jesus Christ's skin was, then why did they change Yeshua or Emmanuel from a black man to a white man? Unto us a son is given, is this here. Revelations 12:1, and a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. This is sun worship, with the moon under her feet, which is moon worship, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. On her head. Who is this? The woman and the dragon. Why is the woman hanging out with the dragon? Why is the dragon getting ready to devour the child as it comes from the womb? Who is the child? Big questions to ask yourself. And the governments will be upon Jesus's shoulders. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. This is key here. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, as we're taught anyways. If Jesus is the Prince of Peace, then tell me. Remember now, I just read it to you. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, but Matthew 10:4 says something completely different. Do not assume that I've come to bring peace to the earth, Jesus says. I have not come to bring peace. Hold on, it just said that he's the Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Jesus, Mighty God, Jesus, Everlasting Father, Jesus, and Prince of Peace. Jesus will be called Prince of Peace. And here it is, Jesus is speaking, and he says, do not assume that I've come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but the sword. How come Christians can't see that truth, or they refuse to look at it? I'll tell you why. Because most Christians don't read the Bible. They simply go by what they've been indoctrinated with their entire life. Parables like this. John 3:16, Bible Hub. Everybody knows this one. So God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him shall not perish, but shall have eternal life. Okay? Let's take a look at God here. What is this God? It's a magistrate. Hold on. Here we have a magistra or a magister, which are 4th degrees. These are Masons. Okay, there's 33-degree Masons, which is supposed to be the highest one, but no, in this realm here, 33-degree Mason is just simply 3 plus 3 is 6. They're telling you who the beast is. They're putting it right in front of our faces, and we've never deciphered it, the truth. So what is a registered member with no degree? A registered member with no degree is somebody who registers to vote. Okay? An active member, a Satanist, is a 1st degree. An active member is somebody who does vote. The witch and the warlocks, which I've showed you many times. Sorcerer. Witchcraft is 666. So witches and sorcerers and stuff like that are all 666. All right? A priestess or priest, 3rd degree, and then you get to your magistra. Well, what are these here? These magistras and magistrates. They're these right here. Okay, John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Who's this God? It is a magistrate, a magi. This is why you have the word magi in magistrate. So many times I tell you guys that a magi is a magus, which is his noun, okay? A magi is a magician. They're sage, seers, or wizards. Revelations chapter 21, verse 8, Bible Hub. But the cowardly and unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, sexually immoral, and sorcerers, witches, warlocks, wizards, all of you, your place, and idolaters, and all liars, their place will be the lake that burns with fire and sulfur. This is the second death. Isn't this earth got many pits that burn with fire and sulfur? I'm pretty sure that there is. So Jesus himself is telling you, do not assume that I've come to bring peace to the earth. He hasn't come to bring peace to the earth. He's bringing a sword. What is the sword? The sword is the double-edged sword that comes from his mouth, right? Right here, Revelations 1:16 said, this is John's vision at Patmos, by the way. And they're telling you that Jesus' feet were like polished bronze refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. Jesus held in his right hand 7 stars, and a sharp double-edged sword came from his mouth. The sharp double-edged sword that comes from Jesus' mouth is the tongue. Why do I say that? John chapter 5 verse 31 Bible Hub. John chapter 8 verse 14 Bible Hub. Jesus says here, John 5:31 tells you, if I testify about myself, my testimony is not. Jesus is telling you himself that his testimony is not valid, that there is another who testifies about him, and I know that his testimony about me is valid. This would be the Father knows of the testimony of Jesus, but the focus on here, not valid. My testimony is not valid. Then Jesus said, even if I testify about myself, my testimony is valid. You know what you call that, folks? That's called the contradiction. And Christians will tell you that there are no contradictions in the Bible, and I'm telling you, I can lay out 100 different contradictions for you to understand that are in the Bible. Because I know where I came from, Jesus says, and I know where I'm going. But you Christians do not know where I came from or where I'm going. Why is Jesus telling you that you don't know where he came from or where he's going? Jesus also says, you judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. Jesus judges no one. Wait a minute, man. I can do nothing by myself. I judge only as I hear. And my judgment is just, because I do not seek my own will, but the will of him who sent me. So Jesus was sent by a higher power. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 Bible Hub. So God Elohim, this is Elohim, is a plural of Eloah. It's gods in the ordinary sense. If you look at gods, if we go, let's see, let's pop over here to Genesis chapter 3 verse 5 Bible Hub. For God knows in the day that you eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Over here in the King James Bible, it tells us, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. This God right here, gods, plural, gods, is the exact same God as this God here, Elohim. They have the same definition, the same number in the Strong's Concordance. What is the number for gods in the Strong's Concordance? 430. Okay. Right here. Lowercase God and uppercase God. I prove everything I say with the scriptures. I'm not just jacking my jaw. I do what I do, and I do it with the scriptures. So lowercase God and uppercase God are both 430 of the Strong's Concordance. That is Elohim. El is also known as the Almighty, the Supreme God. But who is El? El is the God of electricity. Let's take a quick listen to Tiana, Truth Seeker. This is a great page. This woman's got a lot of wisdom. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Why do the elites and all of these secret societies talk in so-called symbolism and metaphors? Well, you see, when you use something metaphorically or in symbol forms, your brain actually gets trained to think in a different way, to make connections that you never would. Instead of thinking about something very literal, for example, like this statement, as above, so below. Some people will take it literally and say that it means as above, like the firmament, so below with the ocean. And they will...
Okay, let's touch that real quick. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6 Bible Hub. Okay, as above, as below means the waters. You see, there's a vault that is above us that separates the waters from the waters. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate the waters from the waters. So as above, as so below is talking about the waters, because there's waters above the firmament. See, these people are putting the truth right in front of your faces for years, and it's going over people's heads. They're telling you that breaking through the dome is for women's rights, but it really has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the firmament and waging war against God. This is why they're exploding nuclear weapons in the 45s. They were setting nuclear bombs and stuff off. They're trying to get through the dome. They're trying to, and Hillary's telling you if you just listen very closely.
Although we weren't able to shatter that hardest glass ceiling this time.
That hardest glass ceiling this time. Let's go ahead and finish.
Thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it.
They're so proud of that, and they're laughing at you. They're mocking you, America. They're mocking you. Okay? Go check out Operation Paperclip about all the nuclear bombs. Once we learned that we live underneath of a dome, they've been trying to shatter that dome forever. All right? But the dome isn't a solid. Okay? The dome is physical, but it's physical water is what it is. And it's bent by vibrations.
And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.
Okay, there's that. So here, Augusta Piccard is a scientist that traveled higher than any other person on the face of the earth. And when he came back and he talked about his experience, he spoke about a firmament. He spoke about the dome, a physical object that plainly keeps us from getting out of this plane of existence. This is why in the Bible it's called a vault. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6 Bible Hub. Over here in the NIV, God said, let there be a vault between the waters to separate the waters from the waters. As so above, as so below. A vault is something that keeps things in, or it keeps people out. Okay? In this case, for us, we're locked inside this plane of existence, and that's what she's talking about. But I want to show you something here that they're mocking you.
When a man reaches the edge After he goes as far as any man can possibly go.
There's your firmament right there. All right? And that firmament isn't as high as everybody seems to think. Okay, when you look up at the sun and the moon can't possibly be any more than 50 to 60 miles away from us. You can plainly see that the sun and the moon are inside of the firmament.
How does his sun continue?
Right in your face. They're mocking you, folks. They're mocking you. Remember when Hollywood wrote that movie, The Walking Dead? That was a mocking of Christianity. You think I'm lying? Christianity is the most perverse religion that ever shone on man. I didn't say it. Thomas Jefferson said it to Joseph Priestley. Thomas Jefferson told you guys that Christianity is the most perverse religion system because it's a 666 system. I prove everything I say with scriptures, and I put it all together, and a president in gematria, in English gematria, comes to 666. Okay? When we type in Donald J. Trump's name without his vowels, it comes to 666. When we type in God of Israel, is 666. God of Israel is 666. Who's God of Israel? Yahweh, right? How about this one? Yah is Lord. 666. Huh? How about this one here? Andrew Tate, you know who he is, right? 666. He was busted in Ukraine for sex trafficking. And then he came back here to the United States. He won his case there. And then he came back to the United States and he's been busted again for sex trafficking. Okay? And what's the most populated state in the United States? New York. With 38 million people alone in that. That's 10% of the population of America is in New York. New York, 666. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just proving to you that I have deciphered the riddle of 666. Image of Satan, 666. Now, who's the image of Satan? That God that created mankind on the sixth day. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Bible Hub. Then God said, this God again, Elohim, plural of Eloah, something that is used. This God is used of a supreme God. There's something over this God. This God here is the one that's permitted because you're looking at an image. Okay, look. Revelations chapter 13, verse 15, Bible Hub. The second beast was permitted. Something was permitted. That God that created mankind in his image is the devil to give something. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. Who's the first beast? Right here, Genesis 1:25. God made the beast of the earth according to their kind. And then this God here was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. This is the first beast, God. It's the first time that beast is used in the Bible. You can't deny what I'm showing. You can. I mean, you can clearly deny it. Everybody does. They prefer to continue walking in darkness. So God made the beast of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds. This all has to deal with the 666 system.
Will come up with certain statements like that. Completely correct. However, if you use it metaphorically in any other sense of the way, it could also mean as above, so below, but flipped. So every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Newton's third law could also mean karma. Could also be taken in the sense of the way of yin and yang. Let me just show you the symbol. If you were to turn it 90 degrees, it would, and cut it right in half, it would be as above, so below. And even within the light, there is some dark, and even within the dark, there is some light.
That's big, what she just said there. Here at the very beginning of the Bible, the second verse in Genesis tells us, now the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. Darkness here is ignorance, pain, grief, torment, misery, destruction, death, sorrow, wickedness. Okay? Why is wickedness over the surface of the deep? Because it was thrown down. I keep trying to tell people that Revelations is a book before Genesis. Because in order for any of this plane of existence to have taken place, there was a war that took place in heaven first. This is why the book of Enoch, the book of Revelations are both books that were written long before Genesis came along. Genesis came along and was written by Gentile, who create genocide. This is why they're genies out of their bottles. They are gentiled in flesh. So now you know that darkness means evil.
Just like with all of us, we have good and evil within us. It just depends on which side we allow to win, which side we want us to be mastered in. That's why they say opposites attract, because opposites balance each other out. And so I find it really funny that everything in the media is completely pushing the imbalance of everything, not just our interpersonal relationships, but our relationships with each other and the relationships that we have with nature.
The imbalance of one another. And this is the imbalance that they're talking about. When she talks about imbalance, she's talking about these people here, the sexually immoral. We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. Now, if you guys watched television, well, I don't really watch television, but when I do watch it, I watch it for the truth bombs. But if you sit in front of the tube for an hour, you're going to be bombarded with what? Attorney commercials and drug commercials. Drugs. They shove this shit down your throat. In the programming, what are they shoving down your throat? They always have a gay person, and they give the gay people all the funny lines and stuff. Why? It's called desensitization. They want you to accept them, telling you that this is balance. It's not balance. It's a horrid thing that's taking place. All right, listen, you have a mental illness if you're laying down with your same sex. Okay? If you're copulating your life force, your seed in the backside of another man's rear end, and you're another man, it tells you plainly you're not to lay down with a man on a man. Okay? You must not lie with a man as with a woman. That is an abomination. Very clear. What's really weird in this, though, I've been reading all this Bible, folks, and nowhere in the Bible does it say that it's an abomination for a woman to lay down with a woman. Why do you suppose that they've kind of omitted that from the Bible? Would it be underneath the same thing? I've even asked friends of mine this question, and nobody really seems to know what the truth is about this. But it definitely does say that a man isn't to lay down with another man like he does with a woman. Showed you that one earlier in Revelations 21:8 when it talks about laying down with the sexually immoral. the cowardly, the liars, abominable, unbelievers, sorcerers, sexually immoral, idolaters, and all liars, their part shall be the burn with sulfur. Their part shall be the lake which burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death.
What do I mean by that? Well, let's take an example of feminism, right? They're basically saying that we're equal to men. I don't think we were ever meant to be equal to each other. I think we were meant to be balanced with each other. That means the things that women can do, men can't. And the things that men can do, women can't. And then there's a bunch of things in the middle that we can do in certain percentages better or worse than the other. Which is why they say that opposites attract, because when you are attracted to the opposite, you learn about your own strengths and you also learn about your own weaknesses, because those come out, and it is up to you to work on them. What is the media saying? Oh, well, if this person doesn't agree with me, you should just leave them. Whether in male, female, or same-sex couples, it's always about me in a relationship. And the same thing goes for anything that we are seeing right now. Don't think critically, just use your emotions. Vote with your emotions. Think with your emotions. You cannot do that. You need to find a good balance. Even the Lady Justice. Let me just show you that symbol. Lady Justice.
Okay, I'm going to cut it off right there. As you can see over here to the right, I left a comment. And I said, I see Lady Justice blindfolded because she doesn't see the crime. That is why it's called the criminal justice system. Because Lady Justice is blindfolded to the injustice. Or I should have put justice there. But that's my point. That's why she's blindfolded. Because if you're blindfolded, you can't see the crime. If you're blindfolded, you can't see what's going on around you. It's the truth right in front of you. And people aren't catching this one here. Tony Elias says the entire Bible is written in metaphors and symbolism. Once you see it, you can unsee it. You can't unsee it. And it's a real game changer. Well, I see what there's a lot of replies, but yes, so it's true. It is true. So I could tell somebody like Tony to come by my channel.
Is blindfolded, to say I'm biased, has a balanced scale. That means both sides of the argument will be seen and it will be weighed against good or evil.
Yeah, but the thing is how can you see either the good or the evil if you're blindfolded? It's the same concept of The Walking Dead. Okay? The scales are balanced, but the system isn't. The system is broken. The system is for these people that are in power, folks. It's just that simple.
Watch out for 666. Watch out for 666. In a vision of the future, all in a vivid dream. The hour is soon coming when men will become machines.
So they're putting the truth right in front of us about this, what's going on. Now what I want to show you guys is the Archons. Who are they? They're 666, the Arcadians, the Amalekites, the Anakites, the Anaki, the Anunnaki. Okay? Also, let's take a look here. It's important for you to understand. Illusion is also 666. Why is that important? Because this God, Elohim, that said, let us make man in our image. Okay, you got to understand that the Supreme Spirit, the creator of all things, is just that. Spirit. Not flesh, not blood, none of that. The truth is, none of us are flesh and blood, but that's what this world's got us believing, that we are flesh and that we are blood. And God said, let us make man in our image and likeness to rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle of the land, and all the earth itself and every creature that crawls upon it. So God created man in his own image and created him. And this is why you guys are gay. I know you hate hearing this part. So this God created man, created himself. This God here created himself, a male and a female. And this is where you get your theys and thems. What you got to understand is that the Bible has been corrupted. Okay? Once you get a grasp on that, then it makes the Bible easier to read. Because you start realizing that the Bible was written by two people. Male and female, he created them. Male and female, he created them. And he blessed them. And in the day, they were created. They, them. They, them.
I saw the other day a person saying, "Don't call me he or she, call me they." And I was like, what the f***? It took me 3 years to learn I am, you are, he is, she is. This whole gender neutral pronoun is confusing for me. Let me tell you a story. I invited a friend to have dinner at my house the other day. And he was like, "Oh, I'm bringing a friend." And I said, "Of course, bring him." And he was like, no, bring them. So I bought a lot of food. I bought briskets and pizzas and pastas. And my friend showed up at my house with one person. So I said, "Where are they?" And he said, "They are here." You tell them that they are gonna eat all of this food.
So this is how they soften you up to their balance. You see, there are two races of people, folks, and it's the biggest key to understanding. Okay, male and female, he created them and he blessed them, and in the day they were created, they, them, he called them man. Why not man and woman? Why doesn't this parable read, so God created man and woman in his own image? And in the image of God, he created him and her, male and female, he created them. Because this God that created himself, let's see, I want to show you something real quick, looking at the word self once again here. Now, I know a lot of you might say, you know, bro, you're trying to reach here. I don't reach at anything. I'm just explaining to you about our language. I've been telling you for a long time that our language is a split-tongue language. This is the double-edged sword that comes from Jesus's mouth. It's his tongue. It's his lies. It's his truths. It's his... Everything is a bundle of lies and truth. They are the fabric that are ingrained in each other in this plane of existence. And when we look at the word self, what does it say? A person or thing referred to with respect to complete individuality. Individuality. D-I-V-I in Latin means to divide. It means to divvy up. It means to split into pieces. Individuality. Duality. So the very word individuality, which means self, also has duality in it. Kaboom, kabang, try swallowing that pill, okay? This is why you have the word sin in sincere. This is why you have the word laughter in slaughter. This is why you have the word eat in create. This is why you have the word less in the word bless. This is why the Native American Indians said that the white man speaks with the split tongue, because our words are wordcraft. They're sorcery. Language is one of the mark of the beasts, folks. You understand that before we fell, we spoke through telepathy. Okay? We were connected as one. But then when you're born into this plane of existence, this is where you get your individuality at. Okay, people aren't going to break this stuff down for you. They're not going to tell you that this God that created a man created himself, a male and female. This God created himself a gender, transgender energy force. He created himself a male and a female. He created himself a hermaphrodite. That's what this creation is on the sixth day of creation, because it's not the same as the one that's created in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, Bible Hub. Then the Lord, okay, again, this is Yahweh. I just showed you Yahweh is God of Israel. God of Israel is also 666. This is why I do not worship any gods of the Bible. None of them. I worship the Spirit of truth. I worship the living one, the supreme authority, the perpetual force, the awe, the almighty, the all you can see and all you cannot see, the visible and invisible. Also, who is the image? Okay, God created man in his own image. Who is the image? 1 Colossians chapter 1, verse 15, Bible Hub. The Son, Jesus Christ, is the image of the invisible God. Jesus is the image. Jesus is the image. Na 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 na. Jesus is the image of the invisible God. How can you, me, any woman or any man or anything be the image of God if God is invisible and cannot be seen? Answer that one for me, Christians. Which is the firstborn over all creation. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. Who's the firstborn over all creation? Right here. God created man in his own image on the sixth day of creation. Whew, boy, I just get chills down my back. I'm so damn good at this today, man. Okay, also, what is an image? It's an illusion, right? So it's a phantom. A phantom is a ghost. A phantom is a ghost. Mark 15:37 Bible Hub. But Jesus let out a loud cry and breathed his last. King James Bible, and Jesus cried out with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. Jesus gave up his ghost. Let's see here. This is why you have the word host in ghost, because the flesh suits are nothing but a host for our soul, for our spirits. It's your spirit that animates your flesh suit. And a ghost is the spirit of the dead. Okay? A ghost is a demon, a devil, and a phantom. What? And a shadow. This is big too. The shadow, because the image from an unused root meaning to shade. This is why we cast shadows now, because we are shaded. We've been shaded in a shroud, a shadowing shroud. Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 3, Bible Hub. Look at the Assyrian, a cedar in Lebanon. Satan, the Assyrian, the cedar of tree of knowledge of good and evil, with beautiful branches, with fair branches, with light skin, and with a shadowing shroud. The shadowing shroud that we carry is our skin suits. We are trapped inside of a flesh suit, folks. You are an energy force, pure light, but your light has been captured by a shadowing shroud, which is your skin suit. Can't deny it. This is the best stuff that you're ever going to get. So Jesus is the image, which is a replica, which is a likeness, which is a statue, a profile, a representation, or a resemblance. What does all this mean? It's easily all killed. Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, Bible Hub. So here, you shall not make for yourself an image. An idol is an image in the form of anything in heaven above, which means all your angels and stuff, all your depictions of angels and stuff, all your depictions of Satan. See, you're thrown off from Satan. Satan isn't a red man with fucking a tail and horns sticking out of his head. Satan is a gorgeous, beautiful, absolutely stunning, mind-blowing, just draw you in. He's just so damn gorgeous, beautiful. That's what Satan is. So they've depicted you with Satan because Satan is the flesh suit, because it's you and I, it's us, the Gentile nations, which are the seed of Satan. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19, Bible Hub. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of distress, the nations. Who are the nations? The Gentile nations. This is why Genesis has become the first book of the Bible. They are also known as a troop of animals, the military, a flight of locusts, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, the worst kind of extortionists, criminal acts. Those that are in power, your generals, your presidents, your people that run the country are all goyim. You understand that? They are the evil. God said that he created evil himself. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, Bible Hub. I form the light, which is illumination, which is intelligence, which is intellect, which is also a luminary. Illumination means to be illuminated. I am an illuminated being today because I fell prostrate on my face and I cried out for the truth, and the truth was revealed for me. I form the light and I create the darkness. Darkness, again, is misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, and wickedness. So you have a creator, the Lord in this particular case, which has created the light and created the darkness. I bring prosperity and I create calamity. I, the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, 666, do all these things. So you have a creator that has permitted something to create something. Okay? And Jesus is the something that I'm telling you. Revelations 13:15, Bible Hub. It's all about the image. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak. So that the image could speak. 2 Timothy 2:12, Bible Hub. Make every effort to present yourself approved to God, an unashamed workman who accurately handles the word of truth. The word of truth. God tells you plainly, John chapter 4, verse 24, Bible Hub, God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship him in spirit and truth. So when it's speaking about the Gentile here, will come from all ends of the earth. The Gentile shall come from all ends of the earth, America included, and they will say, our fathers inherited nothing but lies, worthless idols and things of no benefit at all. The King James Bible says, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and refuge in the day of afflictions. This is your sin. This is your fallout. This is your pain, your grief. The Gentile again. Gentile over here are the nations. This is how I operate. I read the Bible and I'm telling you what it's saying. So when it says the Gentiles here, you're talking about the nations here. Who are the nations? Images of the United Nations. These are your nations. All the nations that sit at the United Nations are the beast nations. Because King James Bible over here, natural, but these are as natural brute beasts were made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things they understand not, which is God. So the Gentile speak evil of what they understand not. Speak evil. The beasts that are created in Genesis 1:25, God creates the beasts of the field, each according to their kind, speak evil of what they understand not, which is God, and they shall utterly perish in their own corruption. All the government officials, all of you guys that vote for government officials, you give your very power up to a man. You got to understand, God allowed something to create itself in an image of God, which is of the materialized world, centropy, the electrification of this world. He allowed it. And that is what is evil. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to cut out of here. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. All praise and glory. Oh, I did want to show you one other parable that was important here. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4, Bible Hub. I've been telling you now that our language is a split tongue language. Okay, it has two meanings. It's duality. Individuality is self. The God of this age, who's the God of this age? Jesus is the God of this age, has blinded the minds of the unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel. What's the gospel? The gospel is a ghost spell. Look at the word. You can see ghosts in there. Ghost spell. The light of the ghost spell of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So you have a creator God in the Old Testament telling you that you're not to worship any graven images. And then you have Jesus Christ, who is the image. Okay? For they worshiped the creation more than the creator. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served the creature rather than the creator, who is forever worthy of praise, a spirit. I don't say amen in my prayers any longer. I worship a spirit. I worship the spirit of truth. I worship the living spirit. Understand, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is not the God of the dead. You understand there's two energy forces. Duality must exist. So there is a God that is of the living, and then there is a God that is of the dead. The God that is of the dead is Jesus Christ. He died on the cross. He's the firstborn from the dead. But this one here is telling you, I'm the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. I am not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. So you have the walking dead, which were created on the sixth day of creation. And then you have, I might have closed it already. Looks like I did. I get a lot of these windows open. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, Bible Hub. So this is the difference. This one here has the breath of life breathed into his nostrils. Those that are created on the 6th day of creation are created in an image. And once you understand this concept of two different creations, the race war isn't about black and white, folks. That's what they want you to believe. The race war is about good and evil. It's that simple. It's two sides. One is good and one is evil. So when is good? Good. Is it any different for good to go out and slay evil? Start slaughtering the evil on the face of this earth? According to the Bible, the children of the Gentiles shall have their heads dashed against the rocks. Just as the Bible tells us that the children of God had their children's heads dashed against the rocks, had their children sacrificed to Malak, to Baal, to Satan, the devil, the beast. Okay? The beast, folks, I told you, are Genesis 1:25, and then you have Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more crafty than any wild animal that the Lord God had made. The wild animals, folks, are the wild animals out in the wild animal kingdom. That's what you're told, but that's not the truth. The wild animals are all the wild animals that live in the cities. It's you. You're the wild animals, and I can confirm that right here. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. The beasts of the field are the United Nations. It's the first time that the word beast is used in the Bible is Genesis 1:25, when God creates the beast of the field, each according to their kinds. He said to the woman, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden? What's he doing right here? He's engaging with Eve, and he's getting her just to start talking with him. Just talking to him. That's all he did, is he swindled her into a conversation. He knew exactly what he was doing, right? Is it true that God said ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden? Of course God said that you could eat of every tree in the garden. That's not what God said. This is how he tempted her into the conversation. He didn't say, is it true you shall not eat of the tree that's in the middle of the garden? No, he set her up to answer a question that he already knew the answer to. He already knew how she was going to respond, because she replied she replies, it is not true that we can eat from every tree of the garden, but God did say that we shall not touch the tree that is in the middle of the garden. So if we do, we shall surely die that day. Well, at this point in time, neither Adam or Eve had any concept of death. None. What is death? Why wouldn't they ask God, what is death? See, there's just so much that's missing from the scriptures here. And we, as intelligent beings that can think logically, not on a belief system, not on, I believe because this is what I've been taught all my life. I believe because when you believe, you belie. You are the liar. You believe the lie. This is why the word lie is in belief. It's a devil speak tongue. I, John Carpenter, White Raptor News Ministries, have learned the riddles of the Bible. I'm teaching you the riddles of the Bible. I'm breaking these riddles up for you. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 6, Bible Hub. By understanding the proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles, this book is now a riddle that was written by the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Not I, man. When I heard the truth, I just knew it was the truth. I knew it was the truth. When I heard it, I didn't turn away from it. And that's probably because I had laid down face down, arms extended, completely prostrate on the ground when I fell in sorrow and grief and torment and pain, anguish, calamity, broken, ego tore up, all of it. I fell humbly. And when it's only in that moment when you're as humble as you could possibly be and you're seeking with a contrite heart, that you can take a download from the mind, from the spiritual mind, the creator of all things. He can change everything for you in a split second. And don't think that he can. You're talking about a creator that is all-knowing, all-powerful, all omnipotent, everywhere, watching us through these portals, through these computers, through the smartphones. Let me show you something before I cut out. Okay, well, this movie was on YouTube for a while, Deja Vu, but it's clear that they've taken it off of the show. But there's a scene. Let me show you here real quick. Okay, this scene is a huge scene. And Satan must reveal the truth to us. Okay, he's not going to come out and say, hey, I'm the devil, I'm watching you, I've been watching you for a while, and he's not going to tell you his secrets, he's not going to share his secrets with you, because this plane of existence is duality. He must show you the truth. So what Satan is doing, the beast, the devil, is doing, is he's putting the truth in the music industry, he's putting the truth in these movies, and he's setting it right in front of you, and you guys are not grasping what it is that they're trying to say. This is how they're watching us. Right here, right now, I'm going to prove it to you how they watch us.
So, Agent Carlin, where do we look? Claire Kucheva's house.
Address is in range.
Signal solid.
Boom. Right there. Look at that again. That there is this right here. This is how you're allowing the government inside of your home here right now. Wi-Fi routers emit radio waves that can pass through walls and other obstacles because they have a longer wavelength than visual light. Researchers have developed techniques to analyze the reflected radio waves to create images of people and objects behind walls. What? Kaboom, folks. There's your images that they're making of us through routers behind the walls. They're putting it right in front of your face. If you have a router inside of your home and you're rebelling against the government, like I rebel against the government, they use these devices to listen in on your conversations, your phone calls, who you contact, all of it. It's right there in front of you. I hope you pay attention to what this channel is teaching you, because I am not off, okay? I am on spot with what I'm teaching you. These people are watching us through these devices. Everything you do and every move that you make, you are being recorded. Bet on that. Much love to all of you. This is White Raptor News Ministries.